The Senate passed a new bill aiming to expand small business opportunities in federal contracting. This comes as contractors wrap up their acquisition pipelines for the fourth quarter of fiscal 2021. Larry Allen is president of Allen Federal Business Partners. He's writing about 3 things government contractors should focus on this busy buying season in his weekly newsletter. Larry, welcome to the program.
Mimi, thanks. It's great to be here.
So how would this new bill change federal contracting and acquisition for contractors, and what types of new opportunities would be available to small businesses?
Mimi, the intent of the bill that's passed the Senate and will likely pass the House when they come back after recess would really put small businesses on the map, give agencies in the government a reason to look again at small businesses. There are already a host of rules and legislation on the books, but sometimes federal agencies might need a little reminder to look at small businesses first. What is nice about this piece of legislation is that it's very consistent with what the administration is doing in terms of proposing increased contracting opportunities for small minority businesses. So across government, we have this push to renew opportunities for small businesses and make sure that federal acquisition officials look at them when they're considering making buys.
So let's talk about the use of partnerships with other companies. Tell me about how it could be beneficial for contractors to have other companies, namely small companies, take the lead.
Well, Mimi, that's a great question, particularly this time of year. You have federal agencies that are looking for ways to meet their end of year small business goals. Making those goals is very important. And as we know, there are some sub goals, whether it's women-owned business or hub zone or veterans, whatever it is. An agency might be doing well in a couple of areas, but might not be doing well in others. So if you're looking to close some business right now as a larger business, one way to do that is to work with one of these small companies that has a special status that a government customer could be looking for. They get the chance to take the lead, which gives them some business. You, as the larger business, get a chance to participate in a piece of work that you otherwise might not get to do because it's being set aside for small business.
You say in your newsletter that that you need to make sure that you can answer your customers' how question, which is how can they buy from you quickly and easily. Explain that. Why is that important?
Mimi, this is important because no matter how great the solution is that you have, if you don't know to tell your customer how they can get it from you, particularly now, when we only have a few weeks left in the fiscal year, that's going to extend out the acquisition process. That's going to make it more difficult for that customer who wants to buy from you to do that. Contractors should not assume that their customers have an answer to the how question. How do I get this great service? How do I get this technology or solution? So it's incumbent upon the contractors to say, here's how you get it. And we talked a little bit about you can get it from my small business partner if you're looking to get something quickly in a small business set aside and get credit, or you can get it from one of my standing acquisition contracts or some other way. But contractors should be prepared, Mimi, with 2 or 3 ways that their customer can easily find them. And again, they should not assume that the customer knows. Some customers will have a preferred acquisition method, but not all of them. And I find that even experienced contractors sometimes forget that they need to answer the how question, which is why I'm writing about it.
Well, in addition to that how question, what would you say are the biggest mistakes contractors make at the end of the fiscal year?
Some of the biggest mistakes that contractors make are doing business with companies that they've never heard of before in an interest to try to close that little extra piece of business before the deadline. Look, your company has a reputation. You have existing government business in many cases. Don't put it all on the line by doing business with somebody who calls you up with something that sounds too good to be true. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Another thing that contractors don't do is they don't follow through. Even though we know that this is the busy time of year for the federal government, Sometimes contractors, Mimi, will just stop pursuing a piece of work that they don't think they can get, and yet they could have if they had only followed through until the very end of the fiscal year. Don't stop running until you cross the finish line, and then even keep going from there for a day or so to make sure that you've got the details down. And that is, you've got to make sure that everything's signed by the right people. Your senior management has to be around to answer questions. The devil is in the details at the end of year. Make sure that the devil is bothering somebody else and not you.
So Larry, finally, what steps can contractors take now to make an easier fourth quarter next time?
Mimi, I think that a couple of things that contractors should do now. One is you have to stay focused on what you've got coming up ahead of you. Most contractors have a good pipeline. You don't want to be ignorant to deals that you could possibly close, but you don't want to spend all of your time on things that aren't already in your pipeline. So you want to make sure that you've got that going. Moving forward, it's always important to coordinate your sales and marketing messages together. Companies sometimes forget that sales and marketing can really be a good way to differentiate yourself, to get a customer's attention. Right now, you should be doing that right now for this season, but moving forward, planning your fourth quarter strategy in the second or third quarter on how to coordinate that message and make sure you've got your year-end theme is an important key to success every fourth quarter.
All right. Thank you very much, Larry, for being on the program. I appreciate it.
Mimi, thank you. Have a great day.